How do? Folks, chair base, I'm being a bit mean today. It won't be very long, class. If you're not feeling so good, I'm going to do this standing today. And normally we do a little bit of both. But I do know you'll have other videos that you can go back and do. So you might have a favourite video. And if it's got a lot of seated in it and you prefer to do that today, please do. We have done some wall stuff previously and I'm continuing with the use of the wall. You are going to need a band if you've got one. If you haven't got one, do not worry. You might have a light hand weight or you could have a bottle of water. If you've got problems with your wrists and it hurts you to hold a bottle of water or say a can of beans, you could put it in a carrier bag and then hold the carrier bag. As long as there's not a hole in the carrier bag and it's going to fall out. Somebody said to me they were using a bag of rice. Brilliant. So anything that you can get a bit of resistance with. You may need to use your chair. So you may need to use a chair as well. Can I just show you? You might want to go chair and wall. But if I do it like that, you won't see me, which I know is possibly a good thing. So if you need a chair and the wall, please do. Don't put yourself at risk. Otherwise, you're going to have your hand on the wall. There's method in my madness. So feet and knees are hip distance. Okay. Let your arm float and let it come behind you. So if you do not need the wall, you can put your hand down and you could do it with both hands. So let that arm float and then see it comes behind you. If it feels comfortable, allow your arm to come behind you. Keep going for me and feel that you're moving your ribs. So I want your head looking forwards and feel you're moving your ribs. Keep going. Now if you get a little bit of movement in your pelvis, that's okay as long as you're moving the ribs first. So you pull your arm back and then just circle that shoulder. Folks, your outside leg is going to step forwards and then together. Step forwards and then together. If you can leave go of the wall, please do, and together. Step forwards and together. Now your decision, put your hand back on the wall first and step back. I don't know if you can see, but my hand is travelling along the wall. Yes? And back. Keep going. If you're using a chair, same thing, and your hand will travel along the chair. Rest. Could you add just a little heel lift? Just a little heel lift. Don't turn, watch me first. I do a little march to face the wall. Both hands on the wall. Then I do a little march to turn to the other side. Yes? So when you're ready, little march. Turn to face the wall. Get your balance facing the wall first and then turn to face the other side. Yes? So you're here. So I know I'm having to turn my head to look at you. If possible, have the screen in front of you so that you can see it if possible. I know that might not always be possible, but keep looking at me if you like this, looking forwards. Okay. Leading with your thumb and let it come behind you. Folks, the hand that's on the wall, make sure it's lower down. It's not stretched away from the wall because that will start to make your shoulder ache. And your hand's low down. Could you do both arms? Remember, you do not have to. So you keep going for me. You keep going. And I'm just getting you to squeeze those shoulder blades back. Do one more, please. You're getting some movement from the ribs. Let the ribs move. If the pelvis moves, so be it. I lied. Do an extra one. And squeezing all the way back. Hand on the wall. Step forwards and come back to centre. So as you step forwards, feel that your heel strikes into the floor first. So you're trying to get the heel to strike into the floor first. Only if you feel good today, then we do both arms. Just step and back. Please place your hand back on the wall and start to step backwards. Make sure that the area is clear. Now, I know some of you will not be able to do that stepping backwards. That's okay, just stay with the forwards bit. Keep going for me. If you've got one leg that doesn't want to do what it's told, you could always just do a little sway instead. If you feel comfortable, leave go of the wall, or you might just find your hand travels along that wall. Last time, and release. Folks, little march through. Now, I want you to make sure that you are safe to see me. You can leave go of the wall, hold on to a chair, something else, whatever. Let your shoulders rest and make sure you can watch me first. If you've got a shoulder injury, this is a really good exercise. If any of you have had breast surgery or you've had breast cancer, this is a really good exercise, but you do what you can. Watch me first. You're against the wall. This arm is going to reach out. Reach out. Some of you will be able to reach up. Yes, so you've seen that. Turn to the wall. If you're not really secure, please miss this out. You can do it freestanding, you can do it with your chair. So you've got your feet and knees hip distance. The spine's long, tummy's drawn in slightly. And one arm just reaches out to the side and it comes back in. Doesn't matter how far you go, you might have one side that's a little bit weaker or injured. Push out and bringing it back. Pushing out and bringing it back. If you feel good, could you do both arms out? Now my arms have naturally gone a little higher. You might bring them lower. One or double arms. Bringing it back. And release. Hands on the wall. You don't have to watch me. Listen. Your feet are hip distance. Your hands are on the wall. Bring them low down. Relax your wrists. If it hurts your wrist, go onto your knuckles. We're going to go right up onto our toes and lower down. So it's a calf raise. Right up and lower. So if you are feeling any pain through your feet, team, you know the score, don't come as high. Try and come right up onto your toes or as high as you individually can. One more time, rest. Keep your hands on the wall and march for me. Rest. Now reach your arm up. It doesn't matter if you can't straighten your arm. You follow the wall. You're reaching your arm up the wall. Now try and keep your shoulder away from the ears as you're reaching up. Is this hurting you? If it is, make it smaller or go back to going out to the side. Folks, we're not going to do a lot, but this is something that you can try and have a go at every day if you've got a Polish shoulder. You can go out to the side rather than up. Try and keep the shoulders away from the ears. You're not moving the body. And rest. Little tiny march. Get your balance. Turn so you can see me again. So you get yourself into a position that you can see me. I want you to have a little rest, but just watch me now. You can do arm side or arm up, but as we do it, you're going to lift up and down, lifting up and down, yes? Then we're going to start to go 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the same on the other side. You can do it with a chair, team, and just reaching up or reaching out to the side. There's just not as much support for the shoulder. Okay, so when you're ready, take your time, facing the wall. Don't step too close to it because you'll feel a little bit unbalanced. Just come back away from it. If it hurts your shoulders, go out to the side. When you're ready, one arm lifted up only as high as feels right for you. Now, normally I'd say if you've got a good shoulder and a bad shoulder, try and do the same thing. But I just want you to do what you can on either side, trying to keep the shoulder away from the ear and try not to lean as you do it. Could you add your calf raise, lifting up and taking it back down, lifting up and taking it back down. And as you lift up, make sure you're not holding your breath. And try and keep the weight equal through the whole of the ball of the foot rather than it being into the little toe. Lifting up, taking it down. One more time. Lifting up, taking it down. Rest. Hands on the wall. Little march through. Take your time as you turn. I would like you to get your band or your weight. You can do this sat down. I will show you in a second. You can do it sat down. If you've got the band, you pop it on the floor, you stand on it, and you always do the tug test so it's not going to slip out from underneath your foot. Now, the foot that you're using is going to be slightly in front. Yes? Hold it so you've got some tension in the band. So that's your position. If you are using your weight, your feet position is still going to be the same, your foot position, sorry, and you'll do this with your weight. But can you see what my wrist is doing? My wrist is in a straight line, I'm not bending at the wrist. You can do it without a weight. It's perfectly okay without, and you're getting a bit of balance. So when you're ready, we're going to do a bicep curl to strengthen the arm, help us with our lifting, our carrying. So hand on the wall if you need it, foot in front. Dangly bits. We're holding it like an ice cream cone and let it come down, straight arm. Try and breathe out as you lift up. Breathe in as you come down. Breathing out as you come up. Breathing in as you come down. So we are strengthening the bicep. Have a little look at your wrist. Make sure that wrist is in a straight line. You're not bending at the wrist. Strengthening our bicep. And we said earlier, so important for lifting, carrying. Breathing out. Building our bones, toning our muscles up. And I know I'm always saying this, that if our muscles are stronger, your metabolism's faster and better if your muscles are stronger. And also if our muscles are stronger, we are warmer. If it's a hot day, that's not going to help you. But if you ever go into an old person's living accommodation, you very often find it's really hot. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Can you leave go of the wall? You don't have to. One more time, please. And let it go. Okay. Now hold it halfway. Put your hand on the wall. Could you take the leg that's closest to the wall off the floor? Swing it forward, swing it back. Oh, excuse me. You keep going. I've got you to make sure there's nothing in the way, and then I have. You've got a couple more. Swinging it forwards, swinging it back. Rest if you need to. Bend the leg you stood on slightly. Try not to move your spine for me, ladies and gents. Squeeze your bottom as it goes behind you. You're not kicking from the knee, it's all from that hip. Strengthening the muscles, strengthening the bones, toning your buttocks. And rest. Whoa, you should have felt that there. Take your band, make sure your band is completely out of the way. Hold on to your weight if you've got a weight. Little march. Take your time, turning to face the wall. Get your balance, and then the opposite side. Take hold of your band or your weight. If you've got your weight, you could have always swapped hands soon. I think you might have just guessed that. Take it down. Band underneath, and that foot is slightly forwards. Do the tug test. Thumb up like an ice cream cone. Shoulders away from the ears. Now, I don't want you to lock your legs back, but I don't want you to have them really bent. Just feel your kneecaps are relaxed. Elbows into the waist. We'll let it come all the way down. Now that's too easy for me, so I'm just going to make the band a little shorter. and slowly release it down. Breathing out and soft breath in as it comes down. Breathing out as you lift up. Breathing in as you come down. You have a few seconds more of these. Rest if you need to. Could you take your hand off the wall? Breathing out as you lift. Breathing in as you come down. Breathing out as you lift. Keep your elbow in by the rib. Try and keep your wrist in a straight line. I don't want you to have to keep looking at me. Try and have the head looking forwards. And this is your last one. Release. Now make sure your hand's on the wall. Bring it up halfway. The leg that's closest to the wall comes up. You swing forwards and swing back. Try not to move your lower back. Folks, watch you not kicking at the knee. The movement is from the hip. Rest if you need to. The leg you stood on is slightly bent. And release. Take the band away. So I'd like you to take the band away. You can hold it in your hand or you can put it on the chair. We're going to come to the wall. I showed you earlier tapping the leg. You do not have to use the wall. You could use the back of a chair for this one. Holding onto the wall, hands lower down than your shoulders. Folks, I want you to have a little bit of a lean into the wall. If it's hurting your wrist, you can do it like that on your knuckles. This leg, bend this one, we go. 4 and in, 3 and in, 2 and in, 1. Calf raise, lift and down. Take your time, lift and down. Changing legs, tap and in. Now the leg that's not moving is slightly bent and in and tap and in. Calf raise and down, calf raise and down. 2 more, 1 more. One leg bent, one leg out and in. So you're strengthening the leg you stood on, creating mobility in the leg you're moving, strengthening those bones, those muscles. Calf raise, lift and slowly down, lift and slowly. Come on, rest if you need to. 1 more time. Opposite leg, bend the leg you stood on and in. So we're bone loading, we're toning up muscles, we're working on mobility through that one side of the leg. And this is your last one. Legs together. Please add a march, little march. Little march, turn to one side, and we're going to grab the band again. So give your arms a little bit of a breather, have a rest. Take the band underneath the foot again. So we're going to do the second set on biceps. Remember, you can use a weight. Legs in front. Make your band shorter to make it enough resistance. If it's too hard, make it longer. Here we go. Pull up, breathe out. Lower it down nice and slowly, take a breath in. Pull up, take a breath out. Nice and slowly. Check your wrist is in line. You don't need to bring it all the way up if it doesn't suit you. Make sure that band is secure underneath your foot. You always have a look at that. If you're working with somebody else and you're not too sure, you check theirs. And down. Okay, 1 more time. Breathing out. Breathing in, that's biceps. So hands on the wall, we're doing the second set of exercise on the bicep, which we're using the front of the arm here. So make sure it's safe underneath the foot slightly forwards. You do the tug test. Remember, longer is easier, shorter is harder. Hand on the wall or the chair. You can use the chair for this. We're coming up, breathing out, coming down, breathing in. Coming up, breathing out, coming down, breathing in. You try and get your wrist in line and take your time coming down. Now we're not doing that many on the second set, but if you're getting tired, rest for me. You keep going. You could do it holding onto the chair. You can do it sat in the chair as well. So this is your last one, and recover. Now we're going to work the muscles at the back of the arm. So transfer the band so it's like a dog's lead to the little finger. Make it shorter, wall or chair. The legs are straight, they're not locked out, but they are straight. If it's bothering your knees, relax your kneecaps. Okay, now pull the arm behind you. Can you pull the arm back, keeping your arm nice and straight? If it's hurting you, do it without the band or a weight. If you've got that arm nice and straight, your wrist is in line, the rib cage can come back a little bit with you. Try not to lean forwards. Feel you moving from the shoulder blade. And would you do one more and hold? So ladies and gents, if you've done enough rest, is your wrist in line? Hold. 4. Back nice and straight. Could you leave go of the wall? You do not have to. 3, 2, hand on the wall. Let it recover. Okay, stay there for me. I want you to take your time, take the band away, always gather it up so you're not going to trip up over it. And you're going to take the leg further forwards. Now the leg that's closest to the wall, take it a little further back. Just watch me. My bottom is going to sit back as I bend my knees. My spine's long, so you have a go. Let your bottom sit back, bend the knees, the spine is long, and push back up. You could use the chair. You let your bottom sit back and you push back up. So you come down slow and come up just a tiny bit quicker. Come down slow and come up a tiny bit quicker. Remember, your bottom's sitting back. If it's hurting your knees, are you letting your bottom sit back first? If it's really hurting, don't come as low or rest. Could you do one more? If you're resting, you can just stand in this double staggered stance and relax. Kick out the legs. Da, 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 da. Okay, have a rest. March. Take your time, come into the wall, changing sides. Get your band, place it underneath the foot. Your opposite legs behind, which prevents you from tripping on that tail end and makes you work on your balance. Thumb up, holding it so you've got some resistance. Check your wrist, your elbow stays in. Ladies and gents, I don't want you to have your legs locked out, but I don't want you to feel you're really bending them, but just relax your kneecaps. Remember, your arm comes lower down. You can put your fists on the wall. You could use the chair for this, no problem at all. So breathing out, breathing in. You keep going. So on this one, you could just use the chair. It's just that I've got you against the wall, so that's where we're doing it. You have 4 more. We're not doing as many as we did the first time round. Try and keep your elbow into the ribs. We're going to do another 2 now, breathing out. Feel you draw the tummy in a little bit. Breathe in, relax. Breathing out. Breathe in, relax. Stay there. Swap the band so it's like you're holding a dog's lead, so it's coming to your little finger. Arms straight and strong. We're trying to pull it behind you. You keep looking forwards. I don't want you to have to turn your head. Is your wrist in line? Feel the shoulder blades come back. Ladies and gents, I do not want you leaning forwards. Feel the crown of the head is going up to the ceiling. Pull your arm back and release. Pull back, breathe out. Now, only if it feels okay. As you pull back, let your ribs rotate just a little bit. You're not turning your head, your ribs are just rotating a little bit. And again, pull back, release. Could we do one more? Pull back. Now we're going to hold it, but you rest if you've done enough. 4, 3, 2, and slowly, slowly release. Take the band away. Have it out of the way. That leg's further forwards. The leg that's closest to the wall is a little further back. You can take your hand across your chest, on your hip, use your arm. Let your bottom sit back, please. Your spine is long. So you let your bottom sit back. Could you take your hand off the wall? Feel that your X factor, you stay doing what you're doing. Feel your X factor stays up, yes? So your X factor where your arms are does not face the floor. Your knees are not travelling forwards, are they not? What's happening? Your bum's going back. Could you do 2 more? Little breath in as you come down, little breath out as you come up, and 1 more time. Little breath in as you come down, little breath out as you go up. Such a great exercise for that bottom. Folks, if you're tired, you can sit in a chair. Make sure you always feel the chair at the back of your legs before you sit down. But you're going to use the wall here. Now, my legs are away from the wall. They're a good sort of 7-ish inches away from the wall. Bend your knees. Now, try and press your waistband into the wall. Try and press it into the wall. Draw your tummy in and release. Keep going for me. Now, is your head like this? Are you feeling uncomfortable? You can always pop a pillow at the back of your head. Try and press the waistband into the wall. You keep going. I know if you've got slight curvature here, your head's there, that you might feel the wall's not that comfortable. You can do it, folks, away from the wall. So I'm doing the same thing away from the wall. You could pop a pillow behind your head. 1 more time. Press the lower back into the wall. Draw the tummy in. And release. Hands on the wall. Walk yourself in and push yourself away. Okay. Watch me first. You can use the chair for this. You can use the wall, but watch me first. Hands on the wall. I'm leaning away from it. So that if somebody came to kick my arms away, I'd break my nose, yes? So watch me first. We're going to go leg, back. It's lifting nice and straight. Try not to get any movement here. Can you see I'm tensing the bottom and my legs straight? Yes, still watching me. You can use the chair, bend the leg. You don't have to do it against the wall. So when you're ready, safely turn to the wall. Hands lower than your shoulders. Walk away so you feel that if somebody's going to kick your hands away, you break your nose, yes? I don't want you to. Take one leg slightly forwards, the other leg further behind. Now straighten your leg from it. Lean into the wall, lift. Keep that leg really straight. If it's hurting your wrist, use your knuckles. And a 5, 4. Keep the leg straight, but the leg you stood on is bent. Try not to move your lumbar spine. Rest. Little march. Relax 1 wrist at a time. Can we change legs? The leg that's closest to the wall is forwards. The leg that's back. Bend the supporting leg. Come on, straighten your moving leg. Lift. Try and keep the leg straight. You lean into the wall a fraction. Can you do a few more? Leg really straight. Draw your tummy muscles in. Make sure you're not holding your breath, please. Release. Little march. Little march. Little march. Turn so you can see me again. You're going to take your outside leg forwards. If you're using the chair, same thing. Outside leg forwards. Now look at the skirting boards in front of you. Hand on your hip. And the leg that's closest to the wall is bent. Stay there for me. Imagine somebody's lifting your bum up to the ceiling. I want you looking at the skirting boards. I don't want your neck arching back and I don't want you to round your spine. Keep lifting your bottom up and you may feel a stretch at the back of your leg. Breathe, bend your knees and push up. Relax the wrist, march. Relax that wrist here. So the leg that's closest to the wall stays bent. The opposite leg goes out in front. Lift your bottom. Hand is supporting you. Make sure it's not on your knee. It's supporting you. Lift your buttocks up, not your buttercups, your buttocks up to the ceiling. Make your spine long. Breathe. You stay there. So you could use the chair that way, you could use the chair that way. You've got a few seconds. Bend your knees for me, folks, and lift yourself all the way up. Little march through, turn to face the wall, swap sides. Bend both your knees. Now this leg, take it behind and try and give yourself a kick up the bum. Now, I think a lot of people will find this too difficult, so just giving yourself a kick up the bum. If it's hurting your knees, just let your heel come forwards and in. Just give yourself a bit of work on that ankle. Could you take the leg back, reach for your sock? If you've got trousers on, can you see I'm not trying to bring my foot to my bottom, I'm trying to tuck the buttocks under, lengthen through the front of the thigh, breathe, release it and let it go. Little march, turn to face the wall, get your balance first, and then turn to the opposite side. You might not need to hold the wall. So when you're ready, leg bent behind you, give yourself a kick up the bum, try not to move the lumbar spine. So we're getting some length here and some strength at the back of the leg. If you don't like it, if it's hurting your knee, will you point and flex the foot instead? Bring the foot up, hold on to the back of your sock. If you've got trousers on, try not to let your leg be like this. You're aiming to get the knee in line with your hip, even if your foot has to be away from your bottom. We're stretching down the front of the thigh, so important, especially if we're sitting a lot. Slowly, slowly release it. Little march through. Circle your shoulders. And ladies and gents, you have done. So that was a bit of a strange one today. Thank you so much. We did some quite hard work going on there. If you didn't feel comfortable using the wall, don't do it again and use one of your other videos. But if you can, I'd like you to do that again this week. Try and do it twice. Thank you so much. Bye.